When was the last time you did something just for yourself, without hoping anyone would notice? We live in a world that constantly asks us to perform, to share, to curate our lives for an audience. We've become digital performers, chasing likes and praise that often feel empty. This cycle quietly links our self-worth to the reactions of others. We start believing our efforts only matter if they're seen and celebrated, but the most important work happens in silence, when no one is watching. These quiet moments of discipline and integrity define who we are. Yet we've been conditioned to ignore their value because they don't come with applause. It's time to find fulfillment in our own effort, not in the roar of the crowd. The journey begins when we stop waiting for the applause. Picture yourself scrolling through endless highlights, polished successes, filtered smiles. You post your own win, then wait, hoping for validation. Each minute without a notification feels like quiet judgment. We start tailoring our lives for praise, losing sight of what we truly want. Our authentic desires get lost in the performance. The praise we receive is for a character, not our real selves. We embellish stories, agree with opinions we don't hold, all for fleeting acceptance. But this acceptance is conditional. It fades as soon as we stop performing. The rush of external praise is like sugar, quick, addictive, but never nourishing. We crave more, but feel emptier each time. This is the addiction of external validation. We are so busy seeking approval, we forget to ask what truly matters to us. It's time to look within, beyond the noise and expectations. Living for an audience creates a constant hum of anxiety. We fear judgment, pressure ourselves to maintain an image, and dread falling short. This anxiety follows us everywhere, at work, in relationships, even in our choices. We play it safe, silence our unique voice, and blend in to avoid criticism. The energy spent managing perceptions is exhausting. We agonize over posts, replay conversations, and scan for approval. This leaves little energy for what truly matters: growth, well-being, real connection. The most painful part? Self-doubt. When our worth is tied to feedback, any lack of praise feels like personal failure. If a project goes unnoticed, we think we are a failure. If a post gets few likes, we feel uninteresting. This volatile self-esteem rises and falls with others' opinions. We're left insecure, anxious, and unsure of our value. Imagine measuring your worth by your own standards, not the world's. Picture waking up each morning and knowing that your value isn't dictated by likes, comments, or the fleeting opinions of others. Instead, it's rooted in something deeper, something only you can define. This is your internal scoreboard, a private measure based on your values, effort, and integrity. It's a quiet, personal compass that guides your actions, even when no one else is watching or applauding. Did you give your best, even when no one was watching? Did you push through challenges, not for recognition, but because you knew it mattered to you? Did you act with honesty and discipline? Did you keep promises to yourself, even when it was hard? Define what truly matters to you. Take a moment to reflect on what you stand for, what you believe in, and what you want your life to represent. Write down your core values. List the principles that resonate with you, the ones you want to live by, even when no one else is looking. Let these values become your metrics for success. Use them to measure your progress, not just your achievements, but your growth and consistency. The goal is to live in alignment with your principles, not to win approval. True fulfillment comes from knowing you're living authentically, not from chasing validation. When you work hard, give yourself credit, regardless of outside recognition. Celebrate your efforts, your resilience, and your growth, even if no one else notices. This shift moves control from the outside world to within you. You become the author of your own story, the judge of your own progress. Feedback can help you grow, but your self-worth no longer depends on it. You can listen, learn, and improve, but you're not defined by praise or criticism. You can accept criticism or praise without letting it define you. Your sense of self remains steady, anchored in your own truth. Your foundation is stable, built on your own integrity, not public opinion. You become unshakable, even when the world around you is loud and uncertain. This internal scoreboard becomes your anchor in a noisy world. It's your quiet strength, your reminder of what truly matters. It's the first step to reclaiming your self-worth and building a life that feels true to you, from the inside out. True confidence is built in quiet moments, not the spotlight. It's in those silent hours when no one is watching that your character is quietly shaped and tested. The world may celebrate grand gestures, but the real foundation of self-belief is laid in solitude. It's forged by making and keeping small promises to yourself. Private commitments no one else sees. These are the quiet agreements you make when you decide to show up for yourself, even when it would be easier to let them slide. Waking up when you said you would, reading instead of scrolling, choosing a moment of intention over mindless habit. These are the tiny victories that matter most. Taking a breath when stressed, pausing to check in with yourself, or simply honoring your own boundaries. These are all acts of self-respect. Each kept promise is a deposit into your self-trust account. Over time, these deposits add up, creating a reserve of inner strength you can draw on when life gets tough. Over time, these small acts create unshakable self-belief. The more you honor your word to yourself, the more you realize you're capable of change, growth, and resilience. Start small. Don't promise a marathon if you haven't run in years. Instead, commit to a short walk or simply putting on your shoes. Let your promises be realistic and achievable. The goal is to keep the promise, not achieve something grand. It's about building a track record with yourself, one step at a time. Consistency builds trust in yourself. Each day you follow through, you reinforce the belief that you are reliable and worthy of your own trust. This internal validation is more lasting than any external praise. It's a quiet strength that doesn't depend on applause or recognition from others. Keeping private promises rewires your brain. You learn to generate validation from within. You become your own source of encouragement and pride. You no longer need others to tell you you're capable. You have the evidence. Your actions become proof of your own reliability and strength. This creates a quiet confidence rooted in character, not accomplishment. It's a confidence that can't be shaken by setbacks or the opinions of others. It's the confidence of knowing you can trust yourself, no matter what life throws your way. And that is the most powerful promise you can ever keep. As you build your internal scoreboard, quietly measuring your progress by your own standards rather than the world's, something subtle but profound begins to shift within you. Each time you keep a private promise, no matter how small, a transformation happens. You start to trust yourself more deeply, and that trust becomes the foundation of your confidence. The frantic need for approval fades, replaced by a quiet assurance that doesn't depend on likes, applause, or validation from others. Instead, you find yourself grounded in calm and stillness, even when the world around you is noisy and chaotic. You no longer feel the urge to broadcast your every move or justify your choices to others. Your actions become more intentional, guided by your own values. This is true, grounded confidence, quiet, steady, and unshakable. You listen more, compete less, and find strength in your ability to be present. You celebrate others without jealousy, because you know your worth isn't diminished by someone else's success. Criticism becomes information, not an attack on your identity. You welcome feedback as a tool for growth, not a threat. Your ego isn't fragile because your sense of worth isn't tied to external praise or criticism. It comes from within, steady and unwavering. This stillness allows for deeper focus and more meaningful work. You become absorbed in the process, losing yourself in the details, and finding satisfaction in the act itself. The work itself becomes the reward. You no longer chase recognition, but find fulfillment in the journey. Joy comes from the process, not the applause. Each moment spent in your craft is a celebration of your growth. Mastery is born from loving the work, not chasing validation. The pursuit itself becomes a source of meaning. This confidence is resilient. It can't be destroyed by criticism or failure. Setbacks become lessons, not reasons to doubt yourself. It's an inner state you carry, a quiet strength that remains with you through every challenge and triumph. No matter what happens outside, you remain centered and at peace, untouched by the chaos of the world. This is the freedom to be your authentic self, to live and create from a place of true, unshakable confidence. We've journeyed from chasing applause to finding inner confidence. Outsourcing self-worth leaves us anxious and empty. Building an internal scoreboard and keeping private promises changes everything. This isn't about rejecting the world, but changing where our self-esteem comes from. It's about moving validation from outside to inside. This path takes courage. A quiet rebellion in a noisy world. It means choosing unseen work over performance, finding satisfaction in your own effort. Be mindful of where you seek validation. Notice the urge to perform. When you feel it, pause. Remember your internal scoreboard and private promises. The world will always have opinions, but only one truly matters: your own. Let the noise fade. In the stillness, your authentic voice emerges. The most important approval you'll ever receive is your own. Trusting yourself is the ultimate prize.